All right, friends, this is The Sit Down. I'm here with Ronny Chieng, one of the stars of Crazy Rich Asians. He's here. Got fabulous socks.
Thanks so much.
I'm loving this. Oh, I like the blue.
Yeah, it's my face.
Okay.
I'll hook you up for sure, yeah.
Taylor's talk later.
Yeah.
So listen, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
This movie it's going to be big. It is already big, and it's going to make really important changes for a lot of people, frankly, like who are excited to see more.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's a predominantly Asian cast. I mean, in fact, the whole cast is Asian.
Yeah.
It's telling a Asian story. What I really like about it is that it shows Asian culture without being very heavy-handed.
Right.
You know, it doesn't over-explain. It just kind of like we have a scene where we're making dumplings, but we don't like. Explain what dumplings are or what the history of how we just do it. We just do it. And people get it. And I think that's the key. I mean, that's what you're getting towards is that this movie kind of shows people that people will get behind like cultures they don't know about if there's authenticity. People will get behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As I've been watching interviews you and your castmates have been doing, you know, inevitably there's it's been 25 years since there's been a film like this, you know, Joy Luck Club, pay homage, and the historical significance. So this is my question to you.
Sure.
You know, it's just us and Twitter here.
And the internet.
You know, no big deal. What have you wanted to say to white interviewers who are like, how does it feel to be a part of this historical...
Oh, I mean, no, I get it. They gotta ask the question. I don't begrudge them, and it's nice that they're interested, quite honestly. And I get the drill. You know, we have to talk about this stuff. It's part of what we're doing. It's
part of the conversation.
It's part of the conversation, and it's good that at least they're asking us about it instead of telling us what to think about it, what it means. They're asking us what it means for us, and so I don't begrudge anyone asking questions about the movie. I mean, look, the press tour, we get the game. You know, we got to answer the same question like 50 different times. And I think most of the questions have been very respectful, and people are trying to understand. I mean, the thing about Asian culture is like, it's not a monolith. It gets very complicated, you know, to go Asians. It's like, man, there's Japanese, there's Koreans, there's Thais, there's Burmese, there's Laotians, Indonesians, Filipinos. Then there's, you know, Asian people from Asia. You know, so that's the Asian American population. Then you have the Asian. So it gets very complicated. So it requires nuance that we all know the internet is really good at giving.
Yeah, it's worth talking about. Well, I love you said you knew you were going to get the part of Eddie. All you had to do was audition. And I was like, how were you so calm? Were you like, listen, I was born to be rich. No,
look, that thing was, and first of all, thanks for doing your research on that. You read the different interviews. So we're talking about, you're asking new questions now, which is great. No, I mean, that was just self-belief and probably foolish self-belief. That
not too foolish because you got the part.
Yeah, I guess I got the part, but when I saw the movie come out, I knew I needed, if I could audition for it, I knew I could book the role because I knew that world. I grew up in that world. I'm still part of that world. My parents still live in Singapore.
Okay. I
mean, this story I know very well. The character I know really well. I know how to do the accent. It's the only accent I know how to do. So that's why I was like, I know I can get in on this. If I get an audition, I know I can make an impression.
I love it. Yeah. And for people who haven't read the book or haven't seen the movie yet, I know it's coming out. Tell them about Eddie, because I'm really excited to see this character on the screen.
Right. So he's a extremely materialistic, kind of obnoxious, very status-obsessed person. In some ways, he's the main villain of the movie. That's what I keep saying. Because the main character, Nick, the dashing Henry Golding, I'm the guy who will inherit the family wealth if he, for whatever reason, doesn't get it. So I'm second in line. But so in a lot of ways, I'm like I joke about it. I'm the main villain of the movie, but I guess I kind of am. You know, he's just a huge douche, really.
Which are pretty fun to play, I would imagine.
Super fun to play, very easy to play. Comes very natural to me. Investment banker, I wasn't even acting.
We have no familiarity with douchebags here in New York.
Right.
I've never met an
in BuzzFeed, everything's very friendly and millennial and PC, but
no investment bankers here.
Yeah.
Obviously, like it's Crazy Rich Asians. I mean, the sets, the costumes, everything. Was there a scene in particular that was like especially over the top and really fun to shoot?
Really, the thing that was the most over the top about the movie was us wearing three-piece suits in the tropics. That's what is great,
because it's really hot.
It is really hot. It is so hot.
It's like Singapore, Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah,
hot.
we shot in Singapore and Malaysia. It's hot and humid, and we're wearing suits out in the sun a lot of the time. So that is the most over the top thing, is the fact that you can't see us just dripping with sweat the entire movie. It could be crazy sweaty Asians is really what it could have easily become.
Did you have to change clothes a lot?
Oh, dude, we were...
Any tips?
No, we were just sweating through it. It didn't even matter. At one point, we were just like, nothing helps, and we're just going to be sweating in this movie. But for some reason, it didn't come up on screen. So either great CGI or I don't know what they did with the sweat, but... I've watched it a few times now, looking for the sweat, and I can only sometimes in some scenes I can see myself sweat a little bit. You have to look very, very close.
The magic of the magic.
Yeah. Shout out Vanya, the cinematographer.
Shout out to you.
And John Chu, the director.
Shout out to you. Well, this isn't the only project you're working on.
Right.
You have a Comedy Central series, Ronny Chieng, International Students, available on the app. That's based on your time, because you've been all over, like Australia. You studied law there. Of course, you mentioned living in Singapore, New Hampshire. Were you, when you were coming up and having these different experiences, were you, already writing and thinking about, like, oh, I'm totally going to turn this into comedy? Or is
Hell no. No, absolutely not. No, definitely not conceited enough to think that my life was interesting enough to write a show. But what did happen was, I was in Australia at the time. I started comedy in Australia, and the TV network in Australia asked me to pitch a show idea, and I knew that I needed to pitch a story that hasn't been told and that only I could tell, so that I wouldn't get replaced by someone more good looking. And so I wrote this story about my life, which I thought I can't be replaced in my own life, right? And so it's about my time as a international student studying in Australian university, and it's interesting because the way the East interacts with the West right now is a lot through colleges and university.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Asian people from Asia usually meet Westerners as peers,
international students,
as peers as well. As international students, but as peers at the same level in college. And I think the same goes for Americans and Westerners meeting Asian people from Asia. They usually meet them in colleges, and so it's this weird intersection point. And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It happens in Canada, America, the UK, Australia, all the white people countries, and it's a generational thing. Parents go overseas to study. They send their kids. They go back, and then they send their kids there. So it's been happening for so long, but we don't really know anything about it. So this is just kind of like my attempt to kind of capture that vibe.
I love it. And both in Crazy Rich Asians and in your own show for Comedy Central, it's like people who have not gotten to see their stories reflected on screen, either as international students or wealthy douchebags.
Absolutely.
In Southeast Asia are getting to see it. So I hope this is just the beginning of more and more.
Thanks so much.
Excited to talk to you.
But also more importantly, more importantly than just diversity, they're actually good stories. You know what I mean?
Worth seeing.
Worth seeing. So it's not just diversity for the sake of diversity, but it's cool storytelling that happens to show these perspectives. That's what's the best about these things, I think.
You better come on with the word Ronny. This morning.
All
right. Well, Ronny, thank you so much for joining us
this
morning, friend. Again, Crazy Rich Asians is in theaters tomorrow. So excited to see it. More AM to DM up next. I love it.
Thanks a lot.
Because sweat is not a